Sahana vavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vedvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant, and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. We welcome everyone to this Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. By Swami's grace, we are going to continue our Gita Jnana Yajna, and we are going to do chapter 19, page 87. That is in the electronic version, soft copy, and in the hard copy, it is the version I have is page 176. Anyway, last week we watched the Arcadia program from Florida. The family, we watched it. It was really nicely. Two things. One is technical team. It is good. The transmission is good. We could see everything clearly because there is a great service. People talk about service, many things. They think only giving sandwich, that is good, sandwich, water. But so many devotees around the world. I saw some people from India, some from Latin America, some from Europe. There is a lady from Israel. She wrote to me 2 weeks ago that she watches regularly from Israel. She is, I saw her, Bridget. So there are people all over. So the technical team is responsible spreading the message. All those people, they say they enjoy it. And really, so that it shows we all have little potential. So please talk like Pravina, Lakshmi, they all had a nice, I enjoyed the open heart to heart. They talked about how main thing is each one understands teaching. So just we should be saying and openly discuss. And here we are as a family to understand, exchange ideas. So it is a good job. Keep it up. Continue that. And so that the last discussion we had was, as I said in Bhagavad Gita, this is refers to chapter 9. What is chapter 9? Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga. Yoga means union with God. But this is not an ordinary Vidya, Raja Vidya, royal knowledge. And Raja Vidya is only called Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya is only Raja Vidya. So that is why Lord Krishna says, Vidyanam Adhyatma Vidya. There are many kinds of knowledge, sciences, arts, physics, chemistry, biology, nuclear science, so now the various other advanced sciences. But of all the knowledges, they are all called Aparavidya. In Upanishad thousands of years ago said, they are all necessary though, like even medicine, engineering, for the livelihood or for the living, worldly living. But this Paravidya is for the ultimate. This is clearly taught in Mundaka Upanishad, where the teacher tells. So that is the highest knowledge, and that is given in this great. That is why Gita is called like Upanishad. So this is Raja Vidya, Brahma Vidya. Raja Guhya. So when it is a royal knowledge, you don't tell everybody, right? So then Swami says a diamond, if you somebody who is selling eggplants, you give it, he thinks it's a stone and throw it away. So he just along with that. Actually, the story says he gave it to his son. He was playing in India. They play with the things, right? What do they call? Yeah, Marbles, yeah, just they will play the hit one against the other. I never played, so I was never interested in it. But there are a lot of kids. My brother used to love it, so he used to play. And a lot of people play. So he gave that, and suddenly somebody said the demand me, "Hey, what are you playing with this?" He says, "Yeah, just stone." So can you give me? I'll give you so many sweets, some 100. The guy was very happy, but he said, "No, I have to check with my mom. I have to come back and tell you." Then he went and I said, "No, no." She didn't realize it must be valuable. And she says, "No, no, no, wait, don't give." So we'll say we'll talk. Then she went to the some store there. He said, "Yeah, I'll give you 10,000 rupees." Then she said, "My God, this must be more." And she went to the diamond merchant shop. Oh, that guy said, "My God, this is the most valuable diamond. So I will give you a few lakhs." Those days it's a lot of big money. So because he knows the value, the other person they think they're stone or for some eggplants or some. Similarly, because it is a royal secret, God gives it to only people who are deserving. Actually, Lord Krishna at the end says, don't share with anybody, people who don't appreciate this knowledge. Why I'm telling is we are all blessed that God is giving this great royal secret because it is the only one which will take us the ultimate, that is liberation. That is where Lord Krishna says, Yam labdhva cha param labham, having which there is nothing more you want to have. So like you get PhD, you want to get another PhD. You get one Nobel Prize, you want to get another one. You get in tennis, they get a Grand Slam something, you want to get another one. You're a billionaire, you want to be a trillionaire. So you want to everything. What next? What more you have? There's no satiety, contentment. But in spirituality, when you have knowledge of God, you have union, that's the ultimate. That's why these people like Ramana Maharshi, they have loin cloth, they don't wear anything. They're always happy in bliss. So the bliss is within us, and that is the given by this great Brahma Vidya. So that is why it is important how you develop, because once having which, there is nothing more to do. So that is why the focus is. And last week, to attain this, I was telling, important is, we know 700 shlokas in Gita, Swami's more than 1,500 discourses. We are lucky that God Himself gave, which is available as such size speaks, audios, videos, and we are also blessed that He wrote Himself with His own handwriting. Vahini, 16 Vahinis are there. So you cannot exhaust all those things. So sometimes people get discouraged in our international conference. Oh, Dr. Reddy, how can we read so much? This one? Nobody told you to read everything. Swami gave the example. There's so much food. You can eat only so much to appease your hunger. It's like we go, all of us go to this special weddings. Now people 30 dishes, 40 dishes. Can you do all the just? You can take only so much. It appeases your hunger. Eat. Maybe there's so much. Only you need so much to satisfy your hunger and appetite. Or same thing, water. Swami said, give those two examples. There's a river water. You don't need the whole river to drink, appease your thirst. Just a glass of water, a cup of water is enough. Similarly, he says to realize the truth, you put into practice one teaching in Gita or whatever Swami says. That is the most important practice. Practice, practice, practice makes. So that's why Swami was even teasing, mocking. You take the book, put on your head, and put flowers, and there's nothing wrong. Respect them. That is not real respect. Real respect is putting into practice, putting in the puja room, putting kumkum, putting the flower. And some people recently I heard they take the thing in procession in the town. So it is okay, respect. But more important, Swami says, is God will be happy if you put it into practice. Even Bible, thousands of years ago, Lord Jesus said, what is your point? Call Lord, Lord, you don't know what I say. So all the great masters said, it is important we need to put into practice. And that two examples Swami gave. So this is, we are going to start it now on page 176. If it is the electronic copy, page 87.
Sairam. First study circle of the New Year's.
Huh?
It's first study circle of the new year. So.
Yeah, this is the first study. Happy and holy and blessed New Year for all of you. I think you already had New Year celebration January 1st last Thursday. I didn't say that, and some of them I personally wrote. So it is the best way to spend the New Year is by thinking of the God. Anybody read what I shared with my New Year greetings? 4 commitments. Anybody can tell here. So that means you're reading. Which is Tara, but she wants to say, go ahead. Yeah, there are 4 commitments. 4 items. See, what are the 4? Actually, remember, easy to remember is karma, bhakti, jnana. All the 4 I covered. One is every day do prayers. Morning get up or evening, do prayer or japa or meditation, bhajan, whatever you like. Some people like meditation, some people like prayer, some people like bhajans. Whatever spiritual practices, do at least 15 minutes. You can do for hour, it is good. 2 hours, it is good, but minimum 15 minutes either morning or evening. Daily, you should do at least sit in the quiet place. That's why you specify one particular place in the house. This is my place of worship. Because Swami Vivekananda used to say that once you do same place every day in and day out, even the wall will get the vibrations of spiritual vibration, because every day you are doing. Go to the same place. God is omnipresent, but those places, when you do daily, that gets that. So daily, for so much time, same place, do that. Second is, daily read one teaching of Swami. So every day we send WhatsApp and Telegram, the daily quotes. At least you can read one quote, and you can share it also with your friends and family. Whenever God's teaching, Lord Krishna says, they are dearest to me who spread my teachings to others. So the second is, that is the Jnana Marga. First is Bhakti, that is, you daily do prayer. Second is Jnana Marga, so study the teachings. Third is service. Service, either give sandwich. There I said, oh, daily do service. Some people say, oh my God, how can I do daily service? I was asking, why do you put daily service? Service, that is why wrong thing. We think service is only giving sandwich, water, shelter. That is good, but there is much more than that. Actually, somebody is depressed, worried, you talk nice, encouraging words, lift their spirits. That is a wonderful service. And then you, even smiling, Swami said there is a nice service. Just cheer up people. That is service. If you can't do anything, samasta loka sukhino bhavanti. Right now, the way various wars, conflict, things going all over the world, just you pray. The Lord prayer is very powerful. Just to say, may all the worlds be happy. That is a great service. We don't realize that. Simply doing that prayer, because God listens to the prayer. Everybody prays, let there be peace in the world. Let there be everybody happy. So that is service. And the greatest service, what did Swami say, Lord Krishna? You take somebody towards God. You take one of your family members or your friends, just take to the place of worship, place satsang. So they, during that time, they get benefited. You get a part of their benefit also, punyam. That is, anything good or bad you do, you share that. Mahabharata, Vidura says that everything good or bad, the person who is doing and the person who encourages get it. If you do bad things also, you get share of it. Same thing, good thing. So take somebody to closer to God. That is the greatest service, because other things, you are hungry, you go food, then again next meal you are hungry, right? You can do. But this is knowledge, enlightenment. That is what the ultimate purpose of life. If you are that, you are taking towards God. That is the greatest service we can do. So we should do that. So, and the final thing is, that is the third commitment.
See God everywhere.
That is the ultimate. Because Swami is everything, everywhere, ever. So you should see Sai in everyone and every being. That means, like you go in some way, a dog will be walking around you, cat, or even lizards, a snake, everything you should be able to see God, and see the tree. Oh yeah, this, because there's a whole rhythm, there is the whole thing, the tree is God, the leaves are God. So you should be able to see in everything. Finally, in moon, stars, in everything, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. That is the ultimate. There is nothing but God we should be able to see. It's not easy. My friends asked, oh, first three it is good, but the other thing is hard because somebody is giving me trouble. See, Sai is in them. It's not easy by constant practice to be able to see God in every being. It is very important. So that is the ultimate. If we reach that, there is no other spiritual practice needed to be realized. But that is the constant, because it's easy to see God in our family. Or there are sometimes we have challenges, friends or people who are nice to us. But people who challenge us, giving us trouble, that is the one where you practice. That is what Jesus said, loving your friends is not love the enemies. If somebody slaps on one cheek, show the other. And Swami also says, see, everything is motivated by God. When you come to that stage, you don't see anything, then there is only love. There is no more negativity is there. Then we are happy. Why should you forget and do that? Swami says, for your own sake, when you have hatred, vengeance, and think you yourself suffer. That's with the classical case example of Duryodhana. Even when the Pandavas were in the forest, he was very unhappy. So, because they were happy. So there are people, they are not only they are unhappy, if somebody else is happy, they don't want to be, bothers them more. So recently somebody was asking, some people who are giving trouble in the, everywhere there are people, God puts that organization. So what? I said, we just say, let us see that God is working through them to give trouble to us. So just practice patience, forbearance. At the same time, you need to use common sense, what to right thing. Somebody is, at the same time, Lord says, when somebody is doing adharma, to keep quiet, you get part of the sin. You should not keep quiet. You should say, hey, what you're doing is wrong. You're hurting that person. You're telling untruth. We need to tell. So that we should not keep quiet. But sometimes you cannot do anything but these big people are doing bad things. What can you do?
Dharmaraja. And Duryodhana, they are bad, and the name says they are bad. So, comes all of them. Sekuni symbolizes what he was. But nowadays, his Swami said that nowadays people have very beautiful names, but they are not. Names mean nothing. They may smile and be very nice to you, but the ultimate, you have to be extremely careful.
Yeah, I know there are so many people who do bad things, claim they what more important is character, how we live. We have purity of heart. We are loving, compassionate, don't think bad for others. So these are the simple values. You don't need to be a scholar for that. And that every one of us knows. You need self-audit, each one of us. Am I really do that? Your conscience says nobody need to say anything for me. My God is I gave a word to them, so I will come. Oh, how people very loosely use the words. Words are very important and powerful. If you value the word like Rama, just for the sake of word, he went for forest for 14 years, right? And same thing, Harishchandra, he gave away his kingdom and everything just for the sake of truth. So that is what the main thing is, living by truth. And Swami says, my name is Sathya Sai Baba. There are other Sai Babas, Shirdi Sai, but Satya Sai Baba, I am the true. So follow the truth. If you don't follow truth, because I find even senior devotees who are devoted 30 years, 40 years, I'm learning, that are without hesitation tell untruth. That is very dangerous. That means you didn't learn the basic thing. If you can't tell the truth, all your spiritual practice is a waste of time. They will go like a part of water, it just goes like a hole. The important basic thing is, please try to, not try to, should speak the truth. Good, these are the 4 commitments we'll have. Like the main thing is to practice that. As I said, what is difficult, but by Swami's grace, if you have determination, you can practice that. Okay, go ahead.
Sairam. The Gita has to be used thus for self-realization. That is the holy task for which it is designed. It is a great wrong to misuse it. All attempts to use it for fame and fortune, for titles and display, are but symptoms of egoism. They are acts of sacrilege. The gandha must be extracted from this grantha, that is, the test of scholarship, the fragrance, gandha, is the essence of the book, grantha. Do not, on the other hand, transform the mashtaka into a pushtaka, the brain, into a book. See God in the stone. Do not change God into stone. That is the vision which is highly desirable. The stone must be visualized as divine, suffused with God, which it really is. This vision is the precious gift that God has given the people of this land. Pearls do not float on the waves of the ocean. Dive deep into the silent caverns of the bottom if you yearn for them. The people of this land have sought God in this manner for ages. The practice of Dharma is the body. The realization of God is its heart. This is the truth that has urged the people here to march forward and save themselves. They are not slaves to outward polish, external embroidery, or material comfort. They search for the basic Atma with the inner eye and cultivate detachment. The people of Bharat who have this grand nature are, however, attracted today by material progress and outward pomp. This is a tragedy, much to be regretted. Those who go about expounding the Gita with the object of earning money are thereby keeping God afar. They may give various justifications for their behavior, no doubt, but none who has real faith in the Gita or who is a real adherent of its teaching can accept their explanations. Stop. I think we had alluded to a lot of this, Uncle, when you were talking just a minute ago, that Bhagavad Gita is a gift, really, that is given to us. And it started on that battlefield. And when we go onto this battlefield every day, we can take this gift with us because it's all about really following the teachings and following what we're taught. It's a lifestyle. When Swami's talking here about folks who use the Bhagavad Gita as a source of fame, fortune, all of those things, I'm sort of reminded of these folks that will come on TV. They call them televangelists, and they sort of preach a lot, and they ask for a lot of donations, and they create this big church, or these big churches, or even temples, or these ashrams. But a lot of it is for their benefit, and they utilize a lot of these spiritual teachings. And it's sort of, Swami says this right here. It's all about egoism, and I mean, really, it's narcissism. But that's kind of what I was thinking of in that moment. But for all of us, it helps guide us whenever we are in our daily path, even if it is our job, our work at home, our work in our offices, and whatever we choose to do outside. And the whole basis is understanding the presence of divine within everything. And when we do understand that presence, that fourth parameter that you have given us, there's that pivot, right? You might, and your initial reaction might be something of annoyance or frustration, but then when you step back and pause, and you take a deep breath, and you remember that physical being that is actually a manifestation of divine, then you respond from a place of love and compassion versus passion,
Yeah, you need to really feel that everything is divine, because we have a hypocrisy, particularly in our religion more, that people worship Nandi. Nandi in front of Lord Shiva, the bull. So this guy, because he's the greatest devotee of God, Nandi. Actually, some people is a manifestation of Lord Shiva. But when you see a bull, whereas you pull the thing, beat it up, and yeah, you do that. So you will treat when a real bull comes, you do it. But a stone bull, you worship, put this, that. And same thing, tree. In India, a lot of places, trees worship because trees are sacred, like particularly Belva tree, Ashwatha tree, that Ficus religiosa, and Neem tree. There are so many trees considered the sacred trees, actually embodiments of the Lord. It is even Vishnu Sahasranamam, Gita say that. But now, people don't hesitate to cut out the tree, deforestation, because how, for the sake of our own convenience, constructing houses, people really do that. So that is why, if you really believe that God is in tree, God is in the bow, or God is in all these things, you not only that, you practice that. So the main thing is putting into practice. Like last time also we told, just I heard yesterday one of the student was sharing that there is a devotee from Godavari area, that is in Andhra Pradesh. There is a very fertile land. But in 1970, they had a big, not tsunami, but a flooding, a lot of major damage. It happened. So many people lost properties, flooding, and all that. So there was a man who was reasonably well-to-do, but he lost everything. But he planned to do the Upanayanam ceremony, sacred ceremony for his son. He wanted to do a nice way, but he didn't have enough money, so he didn't know. But he didn't want to ask anybody. He wanted to practice that. Okay, let me go and ask Swami directly. It's not that easy to accessible to Swami. He went to there. He went to Whitefield. But now, that time Swami was in Whitefield, and then he wanted to have, and he approached that time the warden there. He says, "Sir, you pray. I can't recommend to you to Swami to see. You yourself, Swami has direct one-to-one connection. He doesn't believe in the recommendations. You pray." He said, "How much do you need?" 2,000 rupees. So this so that those days, 70s, that is a big money, but he wanted to do it well. So he was praying, "Swami, please." And but this man is good man. I know him also, Lakshmi Narasimha. He was very wonderful. He became a registrar later on. He said, "I can't tell Swami about you because Swami doesn't like recommendation, but I will pray for you. That I can do. Once we go there, it's set, and we'll go pray. Swami, please help this man." Then Swami, just he was going for darshan, suddenly he just blesses so many people, gives vibhuti, the ring, this and that. So just he dropped the envelope quietly and on this man's lap and went off to finish the darshan. And then this man, he knows this Lakshmana, says, "Do you know what happened?" So go and ask them. Swami gave him, without anybody's knowledge, exactly 2,000 rupees, 20, 100 rupees notes. And then Swami, people give many letters and all that things, right? Then he opened one of the envelopes, he gave it to him, this man, see what it is. Exactly 120 rupees. No, somebody gave Swami, please use this for some good cause. He said, see, just Swami can make, just I gave just now, it came back right away to me. So people hesitate to give money for good cause. As you give, it comes back to you. You don't do with that intention. I'm proving to you, just I gave. I didn't, just he said somebody else gave. So that is why Swami said, blood duddu should be circulation. For people who don't Telugu, blood should be, duddu means money, should be circulation. If it stagnates one place, or it stinks, right? Similarly, even blood, it is doesn't circulate in the heart, what happens? You get a heart attack. If it doesn't circulate in the brain, you get brain attack, you get stroke, and your legs get gang. So money and these blood should circulate. Similarly, don't keep the money. So actually, our Swami advises how much money you should use for your family, your thing. People, 25%, even when you are earning, Swami says you should use for service activity. But when you're retired, people like me can give everything as much as you can. because there is no obligation, right? With children is done, your everything, and there is no restriction. But when you are supporting the family, when you are earning, give 25% at least. But when you are retired, we are free to give everything, so because there is God's property, so it is okay. So like that, so this is how some people practice. And same thing about thoughts. There's another story I heard. So the one boy, Swami told him, the students, they're all good children. So I give a talk in that particular Guru Purnima time one day. And Swami loved that boy, he used to talk every day to him. So he was preparing for his talk, the theme. Then he asked his friend, who is a very knowledgeable guy, hey, can you give me those some points, right? That guy probably, whatever jealousy, whatever reason, he refused. No, I won't give. This guy was so angry. Everybody, he was cursing him. Useless fellow, you didn't do this. Every day he was cursing him. From that day onwards, Swami used to talk to him every day, completely ignored him. 1, 2, 3. Then finally, fifth day, he thought, why Swami is ignoring me? He thought, because I'm cursing this guy every day. Then he went and apologized. I was thinking you didn't cooperate. I was having bad thoughts. Then next day, sixth day, Swami talks to him. Then Swami said, you don't know, Sarva Jivan Tiraskaram Keshavam. Whatever bad things you do, it comes to me. Whatever good things do you, comes to me. So you were doing this. So even thoughts, when he was thinking negative, he says, it came to me. That is why I was ignoring you. Now, you is cleared. So that is why very important. These are all the practical things Swami shows, whether it is being charitable, having good thoughts. Just that is more important in life practice. And for that, the foundation is the Gita. We should think. Okay. Any other comments anybody has? Okay, so you can continue then. And also here talking about how any amount you read, it won't. Swami told a nice story also. Dharmaraja, Dharmaraja you talked about, right? So he was going on a pilgrimage along with family. So he invited, because they adore Lord Krishna. Like when we are going someplace, if Swami comes with us, we'll be so happy. So he said, oh Lord Krishna, please come with us for the pilgrimage. He says, no, I have so much commitment, I cannot come anyway. He's there everywhere. So, but can you do me a favor? He gave him a bitter melon. So take this, wherever you go on pilgrimage, dip in the holy waters, dip it. And so come back, and then we will have that ceremony. So just everywhere, wherever he went to Ganges, he went to Prayaga, and all the great holy rivers, everywhere he went, he put it to water and came back, because the instructions of Lord Krishna. So when he came back, so after that they are supposed to give a feast for the Brahmins. So they did, Pandavas, so he did. And then they said, okay, serve that melon too. They served. It was so bitter. Dharmaraja said, you spoiled my feast. You gave that bitter melon. No, I told you to dip it in all the rivers. He says, did it change its bitterness? You sent into all the rivers. Bitterness won't change. So similarly, you go to dip in Ganges, Prayaga, you go to this pilgrimage, pay that pilgrimage, your bitterness in your heart didn't change. So what is the use? So this is a lesson. It is not dipping in the rivers. It is all good. I'm not saying they're bad. I love the Ganges. I love the Prayaga. I went there too. But don't confine it to that. More important is telling you change, because that bitter melon remained bitter. So he wanted to teach Dharmaraja, pilgrimage is good, but be first you change your things. So these are the beautiful lessons to remember how important to live the life. Okay.
The Gita is spoken in order to foster dharma, not dhanam. It serves to promote goodness, not goodsness. Collecting money in the name of a temple for Krishna or for Rama, or a mandir for the Gita, is another means of reducing faith in God. Building a house for the Lord who is immanent and all-pervading is absurd. The heart is the proper temple where Krishna or the Gita is to be installed. To put up an artificial structure that is certain to be ravaged by time for the eternal absolute, the indestructible Godhead, is very improper. Of course, until a stage is reached, these may be necessary. But in that case, it is wiser to make the best use of the ancient temples that already exist. Building new ones and ruining the old ones is as foolish as killing the cow and donating footwear made out of its hide. The welfare of the world can be promoted by the renovation of old temples and not by the creation of new ones. The installation of God in ancient days was done according to strict Shastric ritual, and so the old temples are holier. The power radiating from them confers up this land whatever little welfare it enjoys now. The rishis of the past suffered hardships, detached themselves from the world, and even disintegrated their bodies in the search for the secrets of individual salvation and social uplift. They have handed down certain codes of conduct and rules of living which are practicable and simple. Even these are now neglected or misunderstood. New codes and rules are imposed with the result that these precious ones have gone under. When elders, gurus, and pundits accept and honor these newfangled modes of behavior, how can Bharat continue to be Dharmakshetra, Yogakshetra, and Tyagakshetra? This downfall in ideals explains why the land, which verily was Annapurna feeding all her children, has to wail today for food. The holy experience, Shivoham, I am Shiva, was resounding from every mountain valley, every cave, every temple, and each sacred riverbank. But now, the cry is Savoham, Savoham, I am dead. The land has lost its ancient joy. It is infested with anxiety. It is the home of self-aggrandizement. It is pursuing empty pomp. To counteract these tendencies, the spread of spiritual knowledge by persons who have actually experienced the joy of sadhana and success in and through it has become very necessary. Everyone, from the simple unlettered man to the Paramahamsa, must recognize this need. All must cultivate faith in the Gita and take it as the authentic word of the Lord. So I'll stop there. And I think in this, what stood out to me a lot was how Bhagwan really talks about, it's almost like waste. When we don't appreciate what exists. And I kind of got interested in this ancient temples because actually one of my patients told me about this guy that comes on YouTube and goes to all the ancient Hindu temples. I think his name's Praveen something. And he'll talk about how they were constructed and how each temple, how the different planetary positioning was very particular for certain temples and what the purpose it showed. And it's all the ancient temples. So I started kind of watching some of his videos, and it's very interesting. And so when Bhagwan wrote this, it made me think about how when these ancient temples were constructed, the purpose was really to make it a place not just of worship, but also this sacred, holy space for people to gain that energy. I think now we have a lot of, even the newer temples are very beautiful, but sometimes the emphasis is really on the physical appearance, and not in, even though, obviously there are different criteria to building a temple, the emphasis is really on the exterior. And there's always sort of a call for collecting more funds to improve that exterior, which is already sort of extravagant. So when he was talking about that, I thought it was very interesting that we should really preserve this ancient, sacred, and holy gift that we have, which is essentially Bhagavad Gita. And I think by studying it and living it, we're preserving that that ancient gift that we have. And I think any scripture can really be that. But since we're focusing on this, the blessings that we have sitting here and learning it and being able to practice it is really incredible.
Yeah, but you should underline here the last word. All must cultivate faith in the Gita. It is the authentic word of the Lord. So you should have every word. It is there in Bhagavad Gita. People say, he do think he said that. This is the word of God. There is no difference between Gita and Lord Krishna. If you respect love Lord Krishna, you love his words. So that is very, very important. And here also you should everything take in the context, because Swami says temples, because people elaborate temples, some of these Birla temples, some other Swami, not big temples, millions and millions of dollars they spend when there are people start. So there is a balance you need. It should not be for pomp and show that. That is what Swami is warning. And these old temples, they have so many powerful vibrations because two things. One is it is built according to Agama Shastras. There are some special Shastras, people experts. How do you build a temple? There is a position, and because there is a power. And even Swami, God is omnipresent. He himself went to pilgrimage. He went to Panduranga, Pandharpur. He went to Badrinath. He went to Puri. So he went to a lot of, she went to Kalahasti, he went to Shishailam, many pilgrimage, old temple, thousands of years old, because they have those powers in those temples because of so many great saints. Everything gets power because of the people who worship there, like Adi Shankara, Ramanuja in Srirangam, like all these people, they did penance and the tapas. So like Kali temple in Bengal by Sri Ramakrishna, they get that power. So when you go there, and Swami even recharged some of those temples by material. In Badri Nath temple, he did materialize and put and gave the gold leaves. So they have power. So Swami says, don't get, they have, and also Swami clearly said, people say, Swami said, don't go to them. He didn't say that. They have a place. In the beginning stages, that is when scripture said, Pradhamam Padima Puja. Beginning stage, first stage. You go to school, right? Primary school, you need to go to learn alphabet. Pradhamam Pratima Puja. Madhyamam Japastotradikam. Next step is singing bhajans and doing japa, all those. Uttamam Manasi Puja. Some people, they do the mental worship. That is nobody even knows they are doing the puja. They are always inside, they are worshipping, just thinking, repeating the name or contemplating. That is, they say, Uttamam. And the final thing is, Soham Puja Uttamottamam. The highest is to realize, Soham, I am that. That is what Swami said. Realize Shivoham, not Shavoham. Somebody. Shava means, you know what is Shava? Is corpse. So you are not Shiva, but you are Shiva. So that is the ultimate Soham Puja. But for here, you need the temples, because a lot of people can relate to, otherwise they won't even. Actually, this was happened 40 years ago. There's a temple in Guntur. They constructed, and Swami, they asked him to come. He went there. Swami said, people think they need temples, and they were all worried, my God, Swami is blasting us. Then he said, yes. Doctor, white coat remains a doctor. Black thing remains he's a lawyer. And police concept, uniform. Similarly, when you take a structure of temple, it reminds you of God. Right? Otherwise, you may have any building, but temple reminds you of God. So you need temple or church or synagogue to remind you of that there is a place of worship. But don't get stuck there. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, don't be born in a church or a temple and die in that. You need to see finally, see Sai in everything, everywhere, ever. That is the ultimate. But these are all the steps needed. As Swami says, people out of context, they say, yeah, Swami said this, and don't. No, it has a place, but don't move on from that. Okay, so we'll conclude here, continue next week. Sai Ram.